She said, "I am in love with someone else." I smiled slightly and replied, "Maybe, but remember, the ending never belongs to the one who speaks first." Everyone laughed except her. A moment later her smile faded as if something had shifted. No one knew what changed until the next morning when an envelope appeared at her door. I am 32, and until 3 weeks ago I thought my life was pretty much on track. Jessica and I had been together for 5 years, living together for 3. We had a nice apartment downtown, talked about getting married eventually. The usual trajectory. I am not going to pretend everything was perfect, but I thought we were solid. I thought I knew her. It happened at my cousin's engagement party. One of those backyard events with string lights and too much wine. Jessica had been drinking steadily all evening, laughing louder than usual, talking with people she barely knew. Around 10, someone made a joke about commitment and monogamy. I don't even remember the exact setup. That is when she said it. "I am in love with someone else." The group went quiet. Maybe 5 people heard it clearly. My cousin's fiancée laughed nervously like she was waiting for the punchline. My brother froze mid-sip of his beer. Jessica just stood there swaying slightly, looking at me with this weird expression. Not guilty, not sorry, just blank. I don't know what made me say what I said next. Maybe it was instinct, maybe it was pride, but I kept my voice steady and replied exactly what I opened this post with. Maybe, but remember, the ending never belongs to the one who speaks first. The group erupted in laughter. The tension broke and everyone assumed it was some kind of inside joke between us. My brother clapped me on the shoulder. Someone refilled Jessica's wine glass. But I watched her face. The smile disappeared like someone had flipped a switch. She excused herself, said she needed air, and walked to the far end of the yard where the fence met the neighbor's property. She stayed there for almost 30 minutes, just staring at her phone. When she came back, she told me she was tired and wanted to go home. The drive back was silent, not the comfortable kind, but the kind that makes your ears ring. When I asked if she was okay, she said, "I am fine, just drunk." She went straight to bed when we got home, clothes still on, didn't even take her makeup off. I sat in the living room until almost 3 in the morning, replaying that moment over and over, the way she said it, the certainty in her voice. I kept telling myself she was drunk, that people say stupid things when they are drunk, but something in my gut knew better. The next morning I woke up around 8. Jessica was already up sitting at the kitchen table with coffee and her laptop. She closed it the second I walked in. That is when I knew for sure. We had been together 5 years. We didn't hide screens from each other. "Morning," I said, pouring myself coffee. "Hey," she didn't look up, "about last night. I was drunk." "I didn't mean anything by it. You sure about that?" She finally looked at me. "Can we not do this right now? I have a headache." I didn't push it. I went to take a shower. When I came back out 20 minutes later, she was gone. No note, no text. Her car wasn't in the parking spot. She didn't come home until after 9 that night, claiming she had gone to her friend Rachel's place to clear her head. Update 1. The investigation. The next few days were torture. Jessica was distant, constantly on her phone, leaving the room whenever it rang. She started working late 3 nights in a row. She is a marketing coordinator, and sure, sometimes projects run over, but this felt different. Thursday evening I did something I am not proud of. I checked her phone while she was in the shower. I know, violation of privacy, breach of trust, all of that, but she had already said she was in love with someone else, so trust was already fractured, wasn't it? There were texts with someone named Marcus, nothing explicitly romantic, but the tone was intimate, inside jokes, late-night messages. A thread from 2 nights ago that said, "I can't stop thinking about you either." The timestamp was 1:47 a.m. I had been asleep right next to her. This is what experts call an emotional affair. Sharing intimate thoughts and feelings with someone outside the relationship that should be reserved for your partner. I took screenshots, sent them to myself, deleted the evidence of me doing so. When she got out of the shower, I was sitting on the couch watching TV like nothing had happened. Friday morning, I called in sick to work. I needed time to think, to figure out what I was dealing with. I went through our bank statements. We had a shared account for rent and utilities. Nothing unusual there. Then I checked her personal credit card statements, which I had access to because she had asked me to help her track spending a few months back. She had been to a restaurant called Lumiere 3 times in the past month. Expensive place. French, we had talked about going there for our anniversary, but she said it was too pricey. She had also bought 2 tickets to a concert next month. Some indie band I had never heard of. She told me she was going with Rachel. I texted Rachel, hey, quick question. Are you still going to that concert with Jess next month? Rachel responded in 10 minutes. Rachel, what concert? I didn't know she was going to any concert. If you think I was right to investigate after her drunken confession, hit the subscribe button. We talk about trusting your gut and finding the truth here on Story Sparks. Update 2. The confrontation. I confronted Jessica that night. She came home around 8, takeout in hand, acting like everything was normal. I was sitting at the dining table with my laptop open. Bank statements pulled up on the screen. We need to talk, I said. She set the takeout down slowly. About what, Marcus? Her face went pale. Actual color drained from her cheeks. She tried to recover, asked what I was talking about, but I cut her off. I saw the texts. I saw the restaurant charges. I know about the concert tickets. She didn't deny it. That is what got me. She just stood there silent, like she was calculating her next move. Finally she said, "How long have you been spying on me? This is called DARVO, deny, attack, reverse victim and offender." Instead of addressing her cheating, she attacked my method of discovery. "How long have you been cheating on me?" I countered. "I haven't cheated. You are in love with him, you said it yourself." That was drunk talk. "Then why are you texting him at 2 in the morning? Why are you taking him to restaurants and concerts?" She sat down, put her face in her hands. When she looked up there were tears, but they felt performative. It just happened. We met at a work conference 3 months ago. We started talking and it felt easy. Natural. Something I haven't felt with you in a long time. 3 months. She had been building this thing for 3 months while I was planning weekend trips and looking at engagement rings online. This is called monkey branching, lining up a new relationship before leaving the current one. I asked if she had been physical with him. She hesitated, then said they had kissed twice, once at the conference, once 2 weeks ago when she claimed she was working late. I asked if she loved him more than me. She said, "I don't know." That was somehow worse than a yes. I told her to pack a bag and stay somewhere else for a few days. She started to argue, said this was her apartment too, that she paid half the rent. I reminded her that my name was the only one on the lease. She had moved in with me, not the other way around. Legally, I could ask her to leave. She packed enough for a week and left by 10 p.m. I watched her car disappear down the street. And for the first time in days, I felt like I could breathe. Update 3. The envelope. Let me tell you about the envelope. After Jessica left, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about Marcus, this guy who had knowingly pursued someone in a relationship. I found him easily enough. LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Marcus Chun, 34. Works at the same marketing firm as Jessica, but in a different department. Divorced. 1 kid. Plenty of photos of him at networking events and happy hours. I spent Saturday morning crafting something simple. I printed it on plain paper. No signature, just 1 sentence. Ask her about the 5 years she spent with someone else while texting you at 2 a.m. I drove to Marcus' address. His condo was listed on one of those property record sites. I slipped the envelope under his door Sunday morning at 6 a.m. when I knew no one would see me. Sunday afternoon Jessica called me, not texted. Called. She was crying, nearly incoherent. "What did you do? What do you mean? Marcus got some kind of note. He called me freaking out asking if I had been lying to him about us being broken up. Were you lying to him?" I told him we were on a break. "We were never on a break, Jessica. You were living with me up until 3 days ago, sharing a bed." She started screaming, calling me manipulative. saying I had no right to interfere in her relationships. I let her yell until she ran out of steam. Then I said, "You humiliated me at my cousin's party. You lied to me for 3 months. You think I am going to just let you walk away clean?" She hung up. Update 4. The fallout. Marcus broke up with her Monday morning. I know because Jessica showed up at the apartment at noon using her key to get in. I was working from home on a video call with a client. Suddenly she was in the living room, mascara streaked, looking like she hadn't slept. I muted the call, excused myself for a minute, and told her to wait in the kitchen. When I finished the meeting 15 minutes later, she was sitting at the table staring at nothing. "He won't talk to me," she said. "He blocked my number." That is what happens when people realize you have been lying to them. I wasn't lying. You told him we were broken up. We were living together, Jessica. I was looking at engagement rings. She looked up at that. "What, for our anniversary? I was going to propose in November." She started crying again, real tears this time, not the performative kind. She said she never meant for any of this to happen, that she got caught up in something new and exciting, that she loved me but wasn't in love with me anymore. I told her she had until the end of the month to get her stuff out. The lease was up for renewal in 6 weeks and I wasn't renewing with her name on it. She could find her own place. She left an hour later. Didn't take anything except her laptop and some clothes. I changed the locks that afternoon. Final update. Moving on. It has been 5 weeks since everything collapsed. Jessica moved in with her parents temporarily, then found a studio apartment across town. She has been texting every few days, long messages about how sorry she is, how she made a mistake, how therapy has helped her see how badly she handled everything. I don't respond. I have said everything I needed to say. Marcus, according to mutual colleagues, has apparently started dating someone new. Jessica has been telling people at work that I was controlling, and that is why she needed space, which is hilarious considering I have 3 months of text messages proving otherwise. Her friend Rachel actually reached out to me, said Jessica had been lying to her too about the state of our relationship. I am doing okay. Some days are harder than others. I have started going to the gym again, signed up for a cooking class I had been putting off, been spending more time with my brother and his family. The apartment feels emptier but also lighter somehow. The weirdest part is how many people have reached out to say I handled it maturely. I don't feel mature. I feel exhausted and betrayed, and like I wasted 5 years building something with someone who was already planning her exit. But I am not the one who has to look in the mirror and know I destroyed something good because I couldn't handle having an honest conversation. Edit 1. For everyone asking about the ring. I returned it, got most of my money back. Edit 2. No, I don't regret the envelope. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Thanks for watching.